So my son said he didn't understand cloning. I told him that makes two of us.
oh, oh, it's such a dad joke, but I'm here for it. Now, today's guest has become known as the internet's dad, supporting millions of youngsters all around the world. When Rob Kenney was just 14, his own father abandoned him, leaving him to grow up without that guiding hand so many of us take for granted. Years later, as a father himself, Rob has decided to use his experience to help others, creating a YouTube channel called Dad, How Do I?, where he shares simple, practical videos and dad advice, teaching youngsters all the things a traditional parent would usually do. It is an absolute pleasure to welcome him to Chaos Radio today. Rob, hello.
Hey, thanks for having me. Really appreciate being here.
Oh, it is our pleasure because, Rob, I've got to admit, there's something about your videos, even as, a grown adult myself, there's something so kind and calming about them, which has made me really want to reach out and speak to you today. So thanks for agreeing to come on and share your story.
Yeah. Thank you. I use the term kids as a term of endearment. So I have 80-year-old kids on my channel. So I wonder. I'm like, as soon as people hear me say, "Hey, kids," do they automatically think I'm talking to a teenager? I'm not. I'm talking to anybody and everybody that could use some help.
Oh, it's brilliant. It really is. The whole kind of the concept of the video, the fact that you've kind of touched on your own personal experience to be able to help others is brilliant. I'd love to start at the beginning with you. Can you kind of take us back to that moment that you decided, I'm going to start making some videos and I'm going to start helping people out there?
Yeah, I started. My daughter really encouraged me. I thought of the name Dad, How Do I? Pictured one of my kids in the other room yelling, "Dad, how do I?" And then I would come fix it. That was the original genesis of everything. And during the pandemic, I was locked up like everybody else, and so it kind of forced my hand. My daughter was after me, "Dad, you need to do this. You need to do it," because I. I have learned a lot of things the hard way, and I thought I could just pass along some nuggets. Because if you've ever spent any time on YouTube, a lot of times you're watching a 20-minute video to get that nugget that you needed. And I was trying to boil it down to, I'm just getting you in and out and getting you the nugget. But then I do have some longer videos now because people say they like to just hang out with me. So I do cooking videos and longer videos to spend time together because I think we need that.
Oh, that's so nice. And I think that is the beauty of your work as well, because you're based in Seattle, aren't you?
Yeah.
That is the power of the internet. It enables from people all over the world, regardless of whether you're based in the UK or wherever in Europe or the world, you can support people and help them from wherever, can't you?
Yeah, it's amazing. I had no idea this was going to be what it is. You probably heard me say, or if you read my book, I thought I was going to have 30 or 40 followers. I was going to have this nice, tight little knit community where I was just going to kind of mentor people and reply to every, message that people would. And it's obviously much more than that now.
Just a little bit more than that. You saying you thought you'd have 30. I think I had a little look the other day. You're about 5 million plus on YouTube at the moment, which is quite a lot of people watching you. Is there a pressure when it comes to that?
I try not. I'm a man of faith, and so I try to keep things in a proper perspective of understanding. Hey, I'm just doing what I feel like I can do, and I got to be me, and not step out of my lane and pretend I'm somebody I'm not. And so I'm grateful that people have kind of embraced the fact that, yeah, I'm gonna make you feel dorky at times, or make you feel like, oh, Dad, why did he tell that joke? But that's part of the dad experience, so I'm okay with it.
Oh, and obviously, the kind of more real, kind of hard-hitting element to your story. You've talked quite openly about having that kind of lack of father figure in your life. How did that kind of shape who you are now and the content that you're now creating?
Yeah, when my dad did leave, that was tough. My story is a story of redemption. So I held that grudge against my dad for the longest time, but I did forgive him, and we reconciled before he passed. And so the story ends well with that. But when he did leave, I was like, boy, I'm never going to do that. If I get the opportunity to get married and have kids, I would never put somebody through what I'm experiencing right now. I was 14, so you can't, a 14-year-old's promise, what's it worth? I don't know, but it did stick with me. It planted the seed, and thankfully I married well, and we were able to raise 2 kids, and my wife and I we're coming up on our 35th anniversary in January.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. That's amazing. And I love nothing more than when someone is able to turn like a somewhat negative experience in their life into something positive now that, benefits so many other people in a positive way. So I really do kind of commend what you do. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Well, thank you. I'm 61. We turned 61 this year, my wife and I both. And life is short, and as you get older, you have time to reflect maybe that what's really important. So I'm grateful for the platform that I've been given to be able to, at this stage of my life, give back.
Yeah. And we have to touch on, the style of videos that you're making. For anyone who maybe hasn't seen these Dad, How Do I series, talk us through kind of some of the videos that you've created over the years and which ones have been your kind of most popular.
Yeah, how to tie a tie and how to shave was what I started with because those are fairly obvious. And plus, when my daughter was telling me I needed to do it, I thought, well, I can tie a tie pretty quickly. It won't take a whole lot of time. I can put that up. And so that one has a soft spot in my heart because so many people have watched that. And then I got messages that people were crying watching me tie a tie. And I thought I was just showing you how to tie a tie, but it was the dad connection of maybe people didn't have a dad or they lost their dad or what have you. And so it was hitting on or resonating on a level that I didn't imagine. And then now just to wrap that up. So real quick. So I did a lot of how-tos and then I really wanted to kind of pour out some wisdom. So I do Wisdom Wednesdays. I do Money Mondays because there's so much more to being a dad than just, hey, let me fix that sink for you. I'm grateful for the fact that I can share wisdom because you need it.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And yeah, I've kind of seen some of your videos out there, and it's great that you've kind of delved into all different aspects of life. It can be something so kind of simple or trivial, but also something that's like, actually, yeah, this makes sense. Having a tutorial for that, whether it's, like you said, doing a tie or doing laundry, changing a tire, to just managing your money. There's so many, it's great that you give this opportunity to add a bit of advice to people's lives. It's brilliant.
Yeah, thank you. I'm grateful for it. Honestly, it's like, oh, that's right. Yeah, so some of the stuff just comes up, different things come up. And like, yeah, I'm going to talk about that. So like Wisdom Wednesday tomorrow, for us tomorrow, is going to be on boundaries, setting boundaries. Because, if you didn't grow up with guidance, boundaries are good. And I talked about it on Monday with budgeting as a boundary. A budget is a boundary that you set for yourself to help you thrive. Boundaries in your own life, you need to be able to set up boundaries because you thrive within them.
We've already touched on the fact that you start your videos by saying, hey, kids, regardless of however old people may be that are watching your videos. But something I noticed in your videos as well, you always try and sneak in a little dad joke as well, which I very much appreciate. So I hate to put you on the spot, but are there any recent ones or favorite ones that you want to share with our listeners today?
Oh, yeah, I got there's so many. The one I always lean back into, but you probably heard this before because I say it a fair amount. So my son said he didn't understand cloning. I told him that makes 2 of us.
oh, it's such a dad joke, but I'm here for it. Brilliant. Yeah. Now, Rob, your videos, they are more than just about teaching, those practical skills. We've touched on it a little bit already, but I just want to kind of go back to that emotional impact and that kind of connection, because that's the real reason why you're doing it, isn't it? Tell us about kind of the feedback you're getting from these videos, and I'm assuming lots of people have reached out to say that you've really helped them.
Yeah, some of them are heartwarming, but also heartbreaking. So if you spend any time on my channel, you probably get tears in your eyes because some of the comments of what people say. I just got a recent one saying, your videos are the reason I'm still alive. I just saw that 2 days
Wow.
ago. I'm like, please get help if that, if you're hanging on, there's help. And it's okay to admit that you need help. That's another thing I try to do, because growing up, I struggled with anxiety. And so I try to help people understand, hey, there's good therapy out there now that can help you walk through that and get help, rather than, do something that we'd all regret that you did.
Absolutely. And how do your kind of your actual blood kids, how do they find the whole? I know you've already mentioned that kind of like your kids have been helping you with the channel and giving you ideas, but how do they find actually sharing you with millions of other people?
Yeah, there is that dynamic. It's a little tricky. My daughter helped me a lot. She wants to do her own thing. She's 33 and she's married, and so it was like, and plus it was a little bit weird, the dynamic of me being a dad to a bunch of people and actually being her dad, and we wanted to keep that relationship intact. And same with our son lives across the country, and I called him when my channel first went viral, and I said, "Hey, are you okay with this?" And he said, "Dad, if I was 9 years old, I might have a problem with it, but I'm out of the house. You did a good job. So if it's something you want to do, then go ahead."
Yeah, without a doubt. It's great encouragement and great advice. And I want to know what's next for you, Rob. Like, are you planning on, have you got a backlog of videos that you want to work your way through, or are you thinking more kind of long term? Are we going to see more, are we going to see books or live events or anything like that from you?
I would like to do live events. I think it's fun to meet people. I got to speak. I said off air with you, I was in London, and then we also went to Sweden because I was invited to speak at this event and got to meet a bunch of people afterwards. And I love that. I think it's really, it was fun to just sit down and talk to people. And a lot of them were asking for advice, more so than wanting to meet me. They were wondering, what would you do about this? I'm like, well, I said, I don't have formal training, but this is how I would handle that. So yeah, I did write a book in 2021 that came out. And then I wouldn't mind writing another book, kind of just trying to, I don't want the tail to wag the dog. I want to keep control of what is happening. Cause sometimes you can, and this is good dad advice. Sometimes people say, you know what you should do, or you know what you should do. And pretty soon you're off over here and you're going, why am I doing this? I didn't want to do this. I want to do this. And so, yeah, that's where we're taking it one day at a time.
I like that. And it genuinely, like, even from speaking to you, obviously now for a short period of time, like, you do just genuinely seem like a genuine nice guy who's just in it for the right reasons. Your heart is in the right place and you're helping people. Obviously, the fact you've been able to make such a success and kind of career out of it now as well is fantastic. So,
well, thanks. And I will touch back. That I just had gallbladder surgery a month ago, and so I had to postpone our interview. And I've lost several people recently, and so it really puts things in perspective of what's important. And so I'm grateful that I have it for however long. You're not guaranteed tomorrow, so it continues to reopen my eyes to the fact that, boy, what else can I share while I'm here? Because you don't know how long you have.
exactly. I think in life, without going too deep, I think we all want to leave some kind of impact or some kind of legacy. And I think you've certainly found your calling. Rob, if you could leave our listeners today with kind of a final bit of fatherly advice, I know that's quite a broad spectrum, but maybe for any of our listeners who are currently going through maybe living without a father figure or anything like that, what kind of a final advice could you give us today?
One of the things I wish I would have recognized when I was younger is understand that we each have gifts. You have gifts that I don't have. I have gifts that you don't have. I think, unfortunately, we spend way too much of our time wishing we had other people's gifts instead of really diving into the gifts that we do have. And so I think hopefully that's encouraging to somebody to understand. And if you're young, I know when I was 14 and I was going through that, it was like, I wasn't 14 forever. I was 18, then I was 25, then I was 35, and now I'm 61. Time marches on. And so don't get stuck in that unforgiveness or wallowing in self-pity. I think understanding that you have a purpose and you make the most of your own purpose.
Absolutely. Well, what a way to end. What some fantastic advice there. Rob, it's been a pleasure. Give us a final plug. Where can people find you online and follow your videos and keep up to date with everything you're doing?
Yeah, it's all based around Dad, How Do I? I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. And I wrote a book too, like I mentioned. So
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of the schedule, coming on to Chaos. We really appreciate you. And like we said at the beginning of this interview, regardless of where you are based in the world, this is the power of the internet. You might be based in Seattle. We're here in the UK, but local people listening today can still learn from your YouTube channel. So yeah, even if you want to just go along and listen for a dad joke, guys, it's worth it. All right. Rob, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing what you get up to next.
Thanks, Ross. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.